unlike Jeb Bush, unlike the brother, we got us into the whole war. I was totally opposed to the war. You look at 2004, Reuters, in July of 2004, headline, Trump opposes war in Iraq. I am the most militaristic person you will ever meet. However, you have to know when to go and when to use the military. They used it at the wrong point. And I said there'll be a total imbalance of the Middle East. Iran will take over Iraq. Lots of bad people, like ISIS, will take over the oil. And that's exactly what happened. I turned out, and I'm the only one of all of the candidates running. I am the only one, the absolute only one that opposed the war. So, one of those things. And you could call that vision, to be honest with you, Jake. You could call that vision. So I'm very proud of it.
I appreciate it. It's our brand new CNN ORC poll out of Iowa right now, and our first poll of that state this election cycle breaking right this minute, and it's taking stock of the GOP field. The numbers show Donald Trump on top, Dr. Ben Carson and Carly Fiorina rising up the Republican power rankings. CNN chief national correspondent John King is over at the Magic Wall to run down the numbers for us. And John, once again, the pundits were all wrong. Donald Trump, no matter what controversy he causes, no apparent damage done to his candidacy.
No serious damage anyway, Jake. If you look deep in the weeds of the poll, a few warning signs, but the big numbers, all good news for Mr. Trump. Let's look at the number. Our brand new poll, just releasing right now, 22%. Donald Trump leading the pack among Iowa caucus goers, Republicans and independents who say they will vote in the Iowa caucuses. You mentioned Dr. Carson. A strong debate finish has moved him up to second place in Iowa. Trouble for Scott Walker. He was the Iowa leader pre-debate. Third place at 9% right now. Also trouble down here for Jeb Bush. Iowa never his strongest state, but he's dropping down into the middle of the pack. And you mentioned as well Carly Fiorina, the breakout performance in the second-tier debate. She's now in the top tier, the top five, if you will, if you look at the Iowa polling numbers. What's going on here in the state of Iowa? Again, if you want to see one warning sign for Mr. Trump, it's here. 27% of Iowa men back Trump, only 15% of Iowa women. So there is a big gender gap, perhaps some damage here from his showdown with the Fox moderator Megyn Kelly. But I should note this, in the Iowa Republican caucuses, more men than women typically vote. So it might be a problem for Mr. Trump, not as big in the Iowa caucuses as it might be elsewhere. Who gets him? Remember, he's the billionaire in the race. He likes to tell us he went to the best schools. His support, though, highest from those who make less than $50,000 and those who have not attended colleges. And here's an interesting point, Jake. Mr. Trump, he has spoken favorably about single-payer health care. He has an immigration position some Tea Party voters would call amnesty, yet he is leading the pack in Iowa among those who say they are Tea Party supporters at 19%, Dr. Carson at 18%. If you are Ted Cruz and Scott Walker looking for Tea Party support, Donald Trump is not only in your lane, Jake, he's blocking it.
Fascinating. John King, thanks. With me on the phone right now to react to these brand new poll numbers, the Republican frontrunner in Iowa and New Hampshire and nationally, Donald J. Trump. Mr. Trump, thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate it. If I may, last month in many major polls in Iowa, you were in second place. Now you're in first place. It doesn't seem to matter who you offend in the establishment. You rise in the polls. Are you at all surprised?
Well, I'm not really looking to offend people, Jake. It seems to be every once in a while that will happen, but I think I was, mistreated a little bit, but that's okay. And, I'm really honored. I'm honored by your call, and 22%, that's a big number. That's a really big number, and so it's a great honor. Thank you.
Not even a month ago, Governor Walk was leading in Iowa. Now he's in third place behind you and behind Dr. Ben Carson. Why do you think he slipped, and why do you think Carson's rising?
Well, if you look at Wisconsin, they're having some trouble. They have pretty big deficits, I think $2.2 billion, and that's a lot different than the $1 billion that they were supposed to make. So that hurts, obviously, and people are seeing the numbers. And there's been a lot of divisiveness, a lot of dissension, and it has not been an easy journey over there. It's a great state. I love the state, but it has not been an easy journey. So maybe people see that, and his numbers certainly have been affected, because you're right. About a month ago in a couple of polls, I was actually number 2, and I think I was number 3, and now I'm number 1 by quite a margin. So I'm very honored by that.
Being the front runner, of course, you have a target on your back. You and Senator Rand Paul have sparred a little bit in the past couple of weeks. His campaign is going hard after you, using some of your own words against you in a new TV ad that they say is going to begin airing tonight in New Hampshire and Iowa. We're going to run just a brief snippet. I'd love to get your take. Listen in.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years, because I probably identify more as a Democrat. I've been around for a long time, and it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans.
Want to give you an opportunity to respond to Rand Paul's ad using your words, praising Hillary Clinton, talking about, this is more than 10 years ago, but talking about how you identified more as a Democrat. What's your response?
Well, sure. If you look at Hillary Clinton, I contribute to everybody. I was a businessman, a world-class businessman. I built a net worth of much more than $10 billion and deal all over the world, and I contributed to everybody, and I let that be known. And frankly, the people in the Tea Party, who I love so much, and they seem to like me a lot, everybody understands that. I mean, when I have to go for whatever it is, if I did not, and I'm not saying this is a good thing for the country, Jake, but if I go in for a meeting and I, let's say, stiff somebody, as the expression goes, when they come up to my office, all of a sudden I don't get treatment. So I don't think it's a great thing for the United States. I'm not sure that the system should work that way, but as a businessman, I did what other businessmen did, and I contributed to everybody. Everybody liked me. Everybody took my call, and I got what I wanted. If I go back in 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, they remember that. So that's important. As far as other elements are concerned of what you're saying, it's all old stuff. It's all old hat. And I think that's been very well vetted. You look at a guy like Rand Paul, he's failing in the polls. He's weak on the military. He's pathetic on military. I mean, here's a guy called me a year ago, oh, let's play golf. Can we go and play golf? And I ended up playing golf with him probably 7 or 8 months ago. I ended up playing golf with him, and he couldn't have been nicer. He was very nice. He wanted my support. He wanted to know if I'd contribute to his doctor situation, which is very good, where he helps children with the eyes. I actually think he's a far better doctor than he is a senator. It's fine. They're trying to do a little bit of a number. The last two people that did it were Lindsey Graham. He came at me really hard, and he's right now at 0. And Rick Perry was at 4%, and he came at me really hard, and he went down to 2, which was actually a great honor. And look, Rand's campaign is failing. I think hasn't his whole team been indicted? I mean, I've been reading where this
I think that's the super PAC supporting him.
Yeah,
right?
they've been indicted. So he's a mess. There's no question about it.
We're told that you told the Chicago Sun-Times that you would strongly consider a woman as your running mate. Should you get the nomination, is there any particular woman or women on your short list?
No, they asked me the question, and it was a terrific reporter, somebody I have a lot of respect for, and I said very openly that I would be very, very delighted if there was the right person, but it would be a great honor to have a woman as a running mate. So if we had the right person, I would certainly consider that. It's obviously too soon to think about it. They immediately want to know who, but I would certainly think about that, and I would certainly consider it.
This week, the Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton responded to news of your campaign. Take a listen.
The Secretary of State. Where was Secretary of State Clinton in all of this? Like the president himself, she had opposed the surge, then joined in claiming credit for its success.
All right. Well, that was Jeb Bush and not Hillary Clinton. I apologize for that. But the Democratic...
But it sort of works, and I'll tell you why it works. Because unlike Jeb Bush, unlike the brother, we got us into the whole war. I was totally opposed to the war. You look at 2004, Reuters, in July of 2004, headline, Trump opposes war in Iraq. I am the most militaristic person you will ever meet. However, you have to know when to go and when to use the military. They used it at the wrong point. And I said there'll be a total imbalance of the Middle East. Iran will take over Iraq. Lots of bad people, like ISIS, will take over the oil. And that's exactly what happened. I turned out, and I'm the only one of all of the candidates running, I am the only one, the absolute only one that opposed the war. So, one of those things. And you could call that vision, to be honest with you, Jake. You could call that vision, and I'm very proud of it.
I appreciate your rolling with the punches and responding to the Jeb Bush video. I do want to get your response to something that Hillary Clinton had to say about your campaign. Take a listen.
It's all entertainment. I think he's having the time of his life, being up on that stage, saying whatever he wants to say, getting people excited, both for and against him. I didn't know him that well. I mean, I knew him. I knew him, and I happened to be planning to be in Florida, and I thought it'd be fun to go to his wedding because it's always entertaining. Now that he's running for president, it's a little more troubling.
It's a little more troubling. What's your reaction, sir?
Well, she is right about one thing. I am enjoying it. I was in last night, as you probably heard. In fact, you put it all over your show. I was in Michigan, and it was an amazing crowd. We had 3,000 people, and they turned away a tremendous number of people because the place just couldn't hold anymore. And it was an absolutely fabulous evening, and it was, standing ovations all over the place. I talked about the wall. I talked about China with the devaluation of their currency, which they did yesterday, which is shocking that they can get away with this. What they're doing to us is unbelievable with devaluation, and they're just taking the money right out of our pocket. And we have people don't know what they're doing. We talked about the Iran deal and how pathetic it is, how bad it is, and we had a good time talking about horrible subjects. To be honest with you, it was there's not a lot of good news for the United States.
Any response to Hillary Clinton saying that you've gone from entertaining to troubling?
Well, I think the poll numbers sort of indicate that maybe it's troubling for her. I think that I would be her worst nightmare in a sense. And I think nobody's been tougher on Hillary. I'm the one that said a long time ago to you, as a matter of fact, long before this has all come up with the FBI over the last few days, that what she did is a criminal act. I mean, there's no question about the fact that it's a criminal act. You look at General Petraeus, they destroyed his life over something much less. The documents were much less important, much less high level. I mean, what she did is a real problem for her. I don't know, frankly, that she'll be able to run, because it just looks to me that the whole email thing is a very criminal situation, and it could cause problems for years to come.
Mr. Trump, I'm being told that you have to go. I appreciate your calling in and taking my questions as always, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jake, and thank John.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
One man pushing to top Trump is